Good morning, students. So today in the continuation class therapeutic communication, we discuss the dynamics of therapeutic nurse-patient relationship. So these dynamics, nothing but dynamics explained by the Papillon theory of interpersonal relationship in nursing in 1971. So it perceives the others as a unique human being. That relationship is possible. So she refers not to a nurse-client relationship, but rather than human-to-human relationship, which she describes the mutually significant experience. That is, both the nurse and the recipient of care have needs met, each views of other unique being, not an illness or room numbers, as all nurses in integral in general. So the goals of dynamic therapeutic communication are here. These goals are specific to life situations. So here the client demonstrate more adaptive coping strategies for dealing with the client. So the main interventions of these goals are identify what is troubling the client as present time, encourage the client to discuss change he or she would like to make, and discuss with the client which changes are possible or which are not possible. Have the client explore feelings about aspects that cannot be changed and alternative ways of coping more adaptively. Discuss alternative strategies for creating changes the client desires to make and weigh the benefits and consequences of each alternative and assist the client to select alternatives and encourage the client to implement the change and provide positive feedback for clients attempts to create change and assist the client to evaluate outcomes of change and make modifications. So these mainly dynamics are two types. One is therapeutic use of self and second one is gaining self-awareness. So the therapeutic use of self described by the Travel B in 1971 is an instrument for delivery of process of interpersonal nursing as the therapeutic use of self, which she defined the ability to use one's responsibility one's responsibility and personality consciously full awareness in attempt to establish relations with the structure using interventions. So it is defined as ability to use one's personality consciously and in full awareness attempt to establish relatedness and to structure nursing interventions. So here according to Papillo described the nurses must clearly understand themselves to promote clients' growth and change heal. So this use of self is a therapeutic manner requires that the nurse have a great deal of self-awareness and self-understanding. She or he has arrived at a philosophical belief about life, death, and overall human conditions. In this self therapeutic use, the nurse must understand the ability and extent to which one can effectively help others in time of needs is strongly influenced by this internal value system, a combination of intellect and emotions. Then the second dynamic is gaining self-awareness. So self-awareness is the process of understanding one's own beliefs, thoughts, motivations and limitations and recognizing how they are affect others. Without self-awareness, nurse will find it impossible to establish and maintain therapeutic relationship with the client. So here they will follow the values. So values nothing but knowing, understanding oneself enhances the ability to form the satisfactory interpersonal relationship. So, so it is self-awareness requires the individual recognize and accept what he or she values and learn to accept the uniqueness and differences in others. This concept is important in everyday life, in nursing profession in general, but it is essential in psychiatric nursing. So here the individual value system is established very clear early in life and has in foundation in the value system held by the primary caregivers. So it is culturally oriented. It may change many times over the course of a lifetime and it consists of beliefs, attitudes and values. So here the values clarification is one process in which individual may gain self-awareness. The next one is the belief. So in belief is an idea in one's holds to be true. It can take my several forms. So they are rational beliefs, irrational beliefs, faith and stereotype. So in the belief, rational belief, ideas for a with object evidence exist to substantiate its truth. Example, alcoholism is a disease. Irrational belief. So ideas that an individual holds as true despite the existence of objective contradictory evidence. Delusions can be a form of irrational belief. That is, example, once an alcoholic has been through detox and rehab, he or she can drink socially if desired. Then faith, sometimes called blind belief, an ideal that an individual holds as true for which no objective evidence exists. Example, belief in a higher power can help an alcoholic stop drinking. Fourth one, stereotype. So a socially shared belief that describes a concept of an oversimplified or undifferentiated matter. Example, all alcoholics are skid-row bumps. So these are the dynamics related to belief. Then dynamic related to attitude. So attitude is a frame of reference around which an individual organizes knowledge about his or her world. So an attitude also has an emotional component. So it can be a prejudgmental, maybe selective or biased. Attitudes fulfill the need to find meaning in life and to provide clarity and consistency for the individual. The prevailing stigma attached to mental illness is an example of negative attitude. An associated belief might that all people with mental illnesses are dangerous. Then next one, values related to gaining the self-awareness. So values are abstract standards, positive or negative, that may represent an individual ideal, mode of conduct and ideal goals. Some examples of ideal mode of conduct include seeking truth and beauty, being clean and orderly, and behaving with sincerity, justice, reason, compassion, humility, respect, honor, and loyalty. Examples of ideal goals are security, happiness, freedom, equality, ecstasy, fame, and power. So, values differ from attitude and belief in that they are action oriented or action producing. One may hold many attitudes, beliefs without behaving in a way that shows that they hold those attitudes, beliefs. For example, the nurse may believe that all clients have right to be told the truth about their diagnosis. However, he or she may not always act on the belief and tell the clients to complete truth about their condition. Only when belief is acted on does it become valid. So attitude belief flows once set of values. An individual may have thousands of beliefs and hundreds of attitudes, but his or his values probably number only in dozens. Values may be viewed as kind of core concept, basic standards that determine one's attitudes and beliefs. They may be ultimately one's behavior. So here these Roth Merlin Simin in 1966 identified there are 7 steps process of valuing that can be used to help clarifying personal values. The process can be used by applying those 7 steps to an attitude to belief that he holds. When the attitude or belief has met each of the seven criteria, it can be considered a value. So, level of operations, that is cognitive, category choosing, criteria freely, free from alternatives, after careful consideration of the consequences. Explanation: this value is mine, no one forced to me choose it. I understand and accept consequences of holding this view. So, level of operation: emotional. Categories: pricing. Criteria: satisfied and pleased with the choice, making public affirmation of choice if necessary. Explanation: I am proud that I hold this value and I am willing to tell others about it. Behavioral level of operation: the category is acting, that is criteria: talking action to demonstrate the value behaviorally, demonstrating this pattern of behavior consistently and repeatedly. Explanation is the value is reflected in the individual's behavior for as long as he or she hold it. So Johari window is a representation of self-awareness and a tool that can be used to increase the self-awareness. So this Johari window is based on the concept of no one ever completely knows his or her inner self. Self-awareness is a key component of the psychiatric nursing experience. The goal of increasing self-awareness by using Johari window is to increase the size of the quadrant that represents the open or public self. So here there are four quadrants. One is open, second one blind spot and hidden and unknown to all. So Johari window is the an individual who is open to self and others, has the ability to spontaneous and share emotions and experiences with others. Increases self-awareness, allows an individual to interact with others comfortably, to accept the differences in the others and observe each person's right and respect dignity. So this Johari window explains open self. So in the open self, information about you that both you or others know. Then blind, that is unknown to self. So information about you that you don't know but others do know. Then hidden self, unknown to others. So here the information about you that you know but others don't know. Then in the unknown self, information about you that neither you nor or others know. So this increases creating a window. First step for the nurse to appraise, evaluate their own qualities by creating a list of them: values, attitudes, feelings, strengths, behavior, accomplishment, need, desires, and thoughts. Second step is to find out the perception of others by interviewing them and asking them to identify the qualities, both positive and negative, they see in the nurse. The third step is to to compare list and assign qualities to appropriate quadrants. So here again Johari window. Then it creates a Johari window, gives the nurses to know about self-awareness. Then next one is the barriers of therapeutic communication. So the barriers, they are divided into failure to listen, rejecting responses, and reassurance, probing, stereotyping patient's response, changing the topics, challenging the patients, and advising and deleting the patient and using the denial. So these are the various barriers in the therapeutic communication. So first one, failure to listen. That means without listening there is no communication. You should give complete attention to the patient and should not be preoccupied with yourself. If you do not listen to the patient, the relationship between two or of you will not progress. Then rejecting responses. If you continue to dominate while interacting with the patient and reject his responses by saying, let us not discuss, or I do not want to hear about, the patient would experience your unacceptance and go away from you. Then third one, reassurance. To reassurance psychiatric patients is considered lack of validation of the nurse's interpretation of the message. telling the patient that everything will be all right, you are all coming along fine, do not contribute towards therapeutic relationship. Probing, too much probing, like tell me your life history further, and no probing and assuming that you have understood everything about the patient make you draw subjective immature conclusions about the patient problems. Usually that goes wrong. Then stereotype patient response, changing the topic, challenging the patient, advising, belittling the patient, and using denial. So these are the various barriers in the therapeutic communication techniques. Thank you.